All right. How's everybody doing today? Glad to hear it. We are SolarCELL, and we're going to revolutionize the way that we power cell phone towers. Right now, there are 200,000 cell phone towers currently being operated in the U.S. 25,000 of those are in rural areas and operate off of the electric grid. They need their own power supply. Right now, that power supply is a diesel generator. So we're using 130 million gallons of diesel fuel every year to power these cell phone towers. And that's putting 3 billion pounds of CO2 into the environment. It costs $60 million to put all of these diesel generators in place, and it costs another $365 million a year to keep them running. That's a really nasty picture. We want to change that picture and make it look more like this. We've developed a system that uses solar to power these cell phone towers. Right now, it saves about $16,000 up front compared to our competition, and it's half of the yearly cost of running the diesel genset. I'm an electrical engineer. I've been doing research at the University of Pittsburgh for a long time in data centers, which are big buildings that house computers. They're the backbone of the internet. Data centers have very complicated electrical systems that work to take the power that comes in from the utility and run the loads, which are computers. They're very complicated because they have all of these power conversions in the middle, and all of those have different efficiencies. What we figured out how to do in the last couple of years, get rid of all those power conversions and operate at a higher efficiency. I want to show you exactly what that would look like on a cell phone tower, right? So right now, we have the AC electric grid, or a big generator. What we want to do is say, forget it, we don't need AC at all. And what we do right now, in order to get our cell phone equipment to work with the electric grid, we carry all those little black converters around, which convert from AC to DC. What we're saying is, forget about all of these converters that have low efficiency. We're going to get rid of all of them. We're going to take all of that DC power, connect it together in one grid, and power it using the solar panels. And when we do that, we can run all of this equipment directly on solar and cut out all of these costly conversions. We've done that 25 times all over the world in data centers right now, starting in 2006, from Japan to Sweden. Right? So we know that the technology works. I'm the only one in the world who's figured out that a cell phone tower is just a data center on a stick. So everything that we've learned, we can directly apply. Take this novel technology and revolutionize the cell phone industry. Dean's going to talk about what it takes to make that happen in terms of cost.
Hi everyone. So currently, 3,500 cell towers are being added to the U.S. annually. Of those 3,500, 450 of them are off-grid, being powered by these dirty energy diesel generators. We hope to capture 1% of this market share, and with a $300,000 initial investment, we could make that possible. As I said, we want to capture 1% of the market share of these 450 off-grid towers. That's about 4 towers in our first year. Using a conservative estimate of adding 1% market share per year, even though this is a cleaner and cheaper method, we will break even in the 3rd year, and by the end of the 3rd year, we'll turn our first profit. After 5 years, we'll have paid back all of our debt. So we've already identified our champions, and we have a relationship with the companies in this industry. We need to put our product out in the field to show that we have access to the suppliers and the means necessary to build this prototype, and that we have access to the customers and the demand is there. Once all this is in place, we can generate revenue continually. And that's SolarCELL. This is our logo.
Now we'd like to answer all of your questions.
So how much, take a typical cell tower, how much electricity is required to keep it running 24 hours? And then what size solar panel do you need to generate that? And what size batteries do you need to store it?
Okay, all of that already optimized. So the peak power on a cell phone tower, 5 kilowatts. That's about the size of an air conditioner. Not a lot of power at all, right? It takes 14 to 20 solar panels, depending on the size. We found that the cheapest panels are at 250 watts. So we need 20 250-pound watts in order to make that happen. 510 amp hours of battery capacity. That's about 120 pounds of batteries to make it happen. All of that will fit into a nice steel enclosure. It will sit outside. The total cost for all of the electrical equipment, about $22,000.
What about security issues? One of the reasons you see fences around cell towers is to protect all that infrastructure. If you've got to put panels outside, what are the issues?
Yeah, so all of the security concerns really won't change. People are stealing diesel fuel right now because it's easy to go and use it elsewhere. It's not as easy to use a solar panel once you stole it. You need a lot of equipment to make it work.
Does the overall footprint of the tower change when you're adding the generators and you're adding the panels as well?
The best part is, all you do is get rid of the stuff that's attached to it. The solar panels, not regular steel. All the infrastructure is already there.
In climate geography, you know, what markets do you serve or cannot serve just based on climate?
Yes, sir. The great thing is, solar panels have been used everywhere. We have solar panels that have been operating for 20 years continuously in outer space. Right? The largest solar panel used in the world right now, Germany. Much more harsh climate, right? So that $8,000 a year in maintenance costs, paying a local technician to go out there and clean them off once a week. We can use these anyway.
So a $300,000 investment, who are your targets to make that happen?
Gotcha. So, let's begin.
So we based our investment on all the employees that we would need to hire and all the overhead costs and all the equipment costs associated with actually building this and keeping it going for the 4 towers that we hope to capture in the first year. And most of those charges are one time, most of those expenses.
No, I know, but how are you going to raise $300,000?
Sure. So what we're doing is leveraging the research connections that we already have. So here, I'm a researcher in the electrical computer engineering department. We work in conjunction with the School of Information Sciences, and we have corporate-sponsored research projects with companies like Siemens and Mitsubishi Electric and Eaton. So these are all the people who manufacture the equipment. And then the School of Information Sciences, they have the relationships with the corporate customers, with the communication technology firms. We're leveraging those relationships, showing them that not only is there an upfront cost, but there's a lifetime equipment cost as well, and using them to fund the initial prototypes in order to prove this in the field. And then from there, it's letters of intent and agreement for sales and purchases. That gets us the initial funding, and we're on the move.
So you need $300,000 in year 1.
Yes.
That's a big number.
It is. For the type of equipment that we're installing, it's not that big of a number for our industry.
Give it up for SolarCELL.